Whoa, look at this weird square pattern of tracks. I hope nothing happens to it. Oh no, a platform got put on the track, so now it's a platforming mechanic that messes up with the player's movement unless the player adapts to it and uses it to aid their movement. This is so dumb. And don't tell me it comes in different forms that exemplify the mechanic. And I better not be creating a whole level based around this one mechanic. Okay, I'll stop with this dumb, idiotic bit. Let's just get to level creation. Now let's get into the design of this proof of concept level. Basically, I've made a lot of windmills, which are what I'm calling these types of platforms, and they really mess with the player's movement at first. The way it does that is that most of the time that the player will be on the moving platform, it will be going to the left, and the player wants to run to the right. So those two things have opposite momentums, so when you get on the platform, then things go really slowly, but when you get off, they go really fast all of a sudden. It's kind of like a conveyor belt, but a moving conveyor belt. And later on, we can mess with their movement even further when they get used to it. We can reverse the way that the platform goes, so that way when they expect to go slow, they actually go faster than normal. But that is not important right now. What is important right now is how the player can not only be tricked by it, but also use it to their aid. When the player stops fighting the pull and drag of the platform, then they start doing a lot better because they're getting used to it, and they're waiting patiently, and they're just overall getting more used to the funky movement pattern. But that's enough talk about the mechanic. Let's move on to the actual level. And one thing that you will notice when I play it later on is that I hid a lot of secret coins, and one benefit of doing this is that the player feels like there is stuff to do. They feel like there are branching paths, and that there are so many different options that they can do. And when the player feels like they have options, they are automatically more fond of the level. The reason why people like that is that it allows them to go at their own pace. Now, don't get me wrong, the level should go from easy to hard as it progresses, but you don't need to do that for every single area. You can have some branching paths where some risk-reward takes place. So if you take the more dangerous route, then you get a reward, say a 50 coin, or a 10 coin, or a 30 coin, or a 1-up, or anything like that. But if you're not particularly interested in that, then you can just go the safer route. Because a fundamental fact of human psychology, really, is that we like to control things. There's a famous quote that says, "If humans all died out, the sun would still burn and the planets would still rotate, but the universe would have lost its best autobiographer." Now forget all that, let's play some Mario. Now look at this. At the very beginning, I showcased the movement of these platforms and how they can be cool with that Goomba and the windmill itself. So we are showing off what the mechanic does with both the player interacting with it. I don't know why I did that, but with not only the player interacting, but also other objects interacting with it, and that just adds to the experience of the player because they now know how other things will interact with them and how they will interact with them through not only their own experience but also by watching it on other things. Okay, yeah, so this is really the second secret. The first one was with that Koopa back there that you saw. So let's get this guy. I don't know what I can use his shell for. And yeah, this is the halfway point. So let's get that power up real quick. And now we get to see the little kind of real twist of the level, kind of, is that now the windmills have two platforms. So that raises the amount, just the area that the platforms take up when they are going left on top. So let's just, I don't know why I did that. Let's just get rid of that shell. And we're going through all of these double platform things, and you don't see it, but up there's a 10 coin, and I didn't make it any more than a 10 coin because it's really kind of hidden. If you find that, then it's great, but if you don't, it's not gonna be a really big deal because, you know, it's just, it feels kind of cheap when you get a oh, when you get a big reward for something you had no idea was there. We are back at the final gauntlet of the level. You can see there are some winged red Koopas to intercept our jumps between these double platformed windmills, and that is really just the big last hurrah for this level.